Arya, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. It's actually the Festival of Lights in India, so there is a lot of noise around me. So just pardon me if there is some disturbance because firecrackers and there is a lot of stuff going on in the background.
No worries. Thank you very much for showing in, for showing up, for tuning in. Yeah. So today you want to talk about, I think, your project, right?
Actually, it's a startup which has been incubated by an incubation center, one of the premium ones in India. Actually, what our basic aim is to improve quality of racket games from grassroots levels. And as from grassroots levels, as people start getting more involved, then naturally the economy as well as the performance of the country or the standard of the sport increases as a whole. So right now there is a boom in badminton in India because in India the thing is we don't get a lot of Olympic medals, and uh, the past 3 Olympics, in all Olympics, only badminton is the only event that we have actually acquired one medal in each Olympic, which is the most consistent performing sport right now. So there is a boom in the number of people who are actually playing and by exponentially. Uh, just to give a basic example, there are around 20 million players playing badminton in India, and only 5 or 6 players are actually in the top 10 or top 20. The potential is there, but the problem is the coaching facilities, and secondly, the quality of coaches. The top quality coaches are, you can count them on fingers, so they don't get the time to spend with more players. So to increase their productivity and to increase the standard of badminton or standard of racket games as a whole, we have undertaken this project and we have started a company for it. And we are currently in the second stage of development. We are going to deploy our product in June 2023. So I'm here to talk about the same.
Interesting. Like about the product, like what exactly is it?
Yeah. Yes. Can I show my presentation?
Sure.
Yeah, just a second.
Feel free. Sure.
Can you see the screen?
Yes, I can see it. I think we all can see. Perfect.
Okay. So firstly, I'll start with how analysis differs in the racket games compared to all other games. As we know, football or most probably football, NBA, basketball, these are the sports which most probably have a lot of finance and there is a lot of analysis happening in the back end. So usually these are team sport. Team sports usually have formations. They have a lot of stuff which you have to consider when the manager has to consider or the coaching staff has to consider when they are actually planning for a game or so on. But racket games are mostly individual. There is doubles in almost every racket game, such as in tennis and table tennis and badminton. There are doubles games, but they do not have that kind of insight as a team sport like football may have, specifically in terms of analysis. So it is mostly based on minute movements of bodies or very subtle things such as how was your positioning before a split second when the opponent is hitting the ball or hitting the shuttle. This is a very these kind of analysis are very small, but they are very important in terms of performing at higher levels. Eventually after a certain point, certain level, those things matter a lot. I myself am a badminton player. I have been to South Africa and I won a bronze medal there. I'm an international medalist, so I understand the problems which we face. So as I just mentioned that how racket sports has been booming recently, especially in Asia, because there is first of all, the population of Asia is much more, and right now it is booming right now. Secondly, we don't have any automated systems or an AI based system for any racket game. So the problem is, if you want to do analysis for any game, you have to rerun the game twice or thrice. You have to see the game once. You have to see the game in slow motion, most probably, to more detail of it. And then you will be able to jot out the points which you can actually use to give the player a better understanding of what is happening. You can help the player in many ways after you see the match 2 or 3 times. Usually, if we consider the matches of 1 hour, it will take at least 3 hours of the coach's personal time, which is, you can do it for 1 or 2 players, but you cannot do it for 20 players. You cannot do it for 10 players, because you'll just run out of time after a point of time, because you have to take training, you have to take your coaching also, and with that you have to do analysis of those premium 10 players which you have, who are actually performing at higher levels. And this happens, this will happen a lot at slightly lower levels. So the national training center might have the financial power as well as the machinery to do that. You will have more human resources which you can dedicate, but a private training center may not have those. But they might have enough money to actually, if they had an AI or a machine, they could set up, and most probably they could do it for 50 players at a time, because they don't have to do it manually, the machines will do it. So just to give a glance at what had happened, PV Sindhu is the first Indian player to win the World Championships of Badminton in 2019. You can see on the right hand side, you'll see the head-to-heads between the quarterfinalists, semi-finalists, and finalists with PV Sindhu. You can see that the head-to-head was not so great. She was actually losing more than she was winning, but still the semi-finals and finals were a cakewalk. If you ask any badminton player, this is a very easy score. The quarterfinals was a very tough match, but you can see in head-to-head, the opponent which she won against, the opponent was always beating her. And this was the first time that she was actually able to win against her in a long period of time. This only happened because she hired a team of 10 data analysts for a period of 6 months to analyze her game and her opponent's games, and to calibrate how to play against each other. And that is how success came. And this became like a benchmark. If you want success, you can do data analysis and you can actually progress. This is like the analysis process. Around 70% of the time is the repetitive task of actually looking at the match and getting some basic information. Then there is a small process of actually like jotting down. And if you tell a coach that X problem is there, how do I solve it? The coach might give you an answer in 5 minutes. But what problem is there? To identify the problem is the main task that happens in analysis. So this is the current situation. So this is the reason we have devised our algorithm or our software. I'll just show a small demo of what we are doing. So this is just a 5-minute video of the match which was played between. This is the final of that same World Championship. It's a 5-minute video. You can see here it is a 5-minute video. And now I'll show how we are actually generating the statistics for it. We have our AI engines which can detect what kind of shot you have hit, what kind of, like, what was your position when you were actually hitting. So the first is you have to generate the statistics. Before you cannot do anything if you don't generate the statistics. So there are physical statistics and hit statistics. In the Racket Games, hit is something which is like, it is mandatory. So these are the hit statistics. And then we come to graphs. So these are the velocity. The first is the velocity graph, that how well the player was moving. The second is the distance coverage in specific period of time, what kind of distance was covered by every player. And this is our proprietary performance graph, which we have calculated. We have our own metric to do that. And we can compare between the two players. Red is the nearer side and blue is the farther side, that how they compared against each other. And you can see that if one player is doing more physical movements than the other, then it might be beneficial because you're tiring your opponent out. There are many inferences that can be gained from this kind of reports. And then these are the proper reports, which is you can actually see the movement density. So where was your opponent playing, on the right side, on the left side, or front, back, where was your opponent actually targeting you? You can actually get that here directly without actually looking at the match for even 1 second. Then this is the shot distribution, which where have you hit the shots exactly. This is a this is the great explanation of how we have done it. And then what we have done is, using this grid, we have given the grid numbers, and what was the most common movement that you made is something that we can show. So here you can see there is a shuttle trail which you can see, and you can see the player's movement. We have actually identified the player. I'll show another one. You can see a shuttle trail as well as the player, where the player is. So we have actually identified that in a simple broadcast video. You don't need any special video for it. You can just pick these matches from YouTube and you can do analysis on it all together. So this is what we have reached till now. This is around 60 to 70% of what our total product will be. Nothing about the hits has been done yet. We are actually in the development process. So I've just shared this just to give an insight of, actually it is very difficult to visualize that what we are actually doing. If I just show you slides, it is very difficult to see. Continuing on that, what our ultimate aim is to how chess engines work, which is basically two players play against each other. You make a move and the engine tells you whether the move was correct or is there a better move. So our ultimate aim is to create a similar engine for racket games altogether, that using your current vitals, using your current physical condition, the pressure that you are in, the current match scenario, the decision that you made to actually hit a certain type of shot, was it correct or not? And these kind of things are very important at higher levels. It might not be very beneficial for an amateur or a big or an intermediate player, but this is very important for the players who play at an elite level, because if decision making is better, then performance is better. It is directly proportional to each other. So here in the last 2 points, you can see predicting the choice that was made and then validating whether the choice was correct or wrong. It is our ultimate aim of analysis. So I've shown you the quick demonstration, and this is just a slideshow of how we are actually doing it. I'll not go into any details. I'll just slowly just move it around. This is the trajectory plotting. You can see on the right side, we have actually plotted that red colored trajectory, which is actually of the shot. We actually detected the players. This is the sphere of reach. So in what sphere you can reach directly. So you don't have to hit in that because you're actually hitting directly to your opponent. This is the immediate reach. So in one step, what kind of distance your player can cover. This is something which can be important. Here you can see that you can actually duplicate images also. So if you want to show that this position was wrong, this position was correct, and so on, you can show that. Based marking. That's it from my side.
Thank you very much, ARYA. I think it was very interesting. Like, it's actually kind of mind blowing. Like you look at badminton game and you think, okay, it's about strange, it's about even mental, but after this, this presentation, you rather think like, okay, actually, I just need to focus on the big data points. Like, really cool. Like, are you like the only ones in the space, or you have like some competitors, or like?
We don't have a direct competitor for badminton, but we have a competitor for table tennis. So what algorithms we are using is, we actually use them directly for tennis, for table tennis, and they work flawlessly. There is no problem because whatever we have developed using, we are in it for all sports all together. So we have a competitor in table tennis. Actually, the competitor is the founder is the chief national coach of India for table tennis. the competitor that we have. In badminton, there is no direct competitor right now. But looking at the space, how rapidly it is growing, it is not it will not surprise me if a competitor might come in 1 or 2 years with an even stronger solution. We will have to work hard at that point of time.
Or already be very well established with a good community, and then maybe get bought up, or
Yes, yes. We are actually we have our strategic partnerships with national training centers in India. So the national training center, we are going to deploy it as our first location. So most probably we'll be in the space for a longer period of time, because once the national training center supports you, it is like the government supporting you. Especially in
great
India,
news.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, in India it is a big thing, because these government contracts are for a longer period of years. So there are 7-year, 10-year contracts which are handed over.
Yeah, sounds perfect. And also you have like a very nice use case for the badminton. But what question me is like, is it only going for like sports which is one-on-one, like tennis, badminton, table tennis, or could you also think of a team sport? I mean, it would be also crazy, yeah, incredible if you could use it for football or basketball to say to show a player, hey, you would rather stand here. They already have kind of things like this, but yeah, maybe they,
Yes, actually, our only problem with football and basketball right now is usually football and basketball cameras rotate where the ball is. So what we need is we need a static picture of the entire stadium or the entire field. At that, once we get that, it is much more efficient, as well as it is more intuitive to do analysis on it. Because if you continuously rotate the camera, it is very difficult to show positioning for each and every player. If you have a point of view from where the field is not moving, but the players are very small, it is still acceptable, because we can identify the players even if they are small. But if the camera is moving, then like we right now we have millimeter accuracy. So like it doesn't miss by more than 1 or 2 millimeters. But if you rotate the camera, that camera rotation will cause a lot of problem in terms of actually calculating the distances covered by the players or the positioning of players. So that is a major problem that we have. If a football club comes to us and says that we'll put in a camera at whatever location you want, and you take the footage from that camera, then we can do it very easily.
yeah,
But
that's what I was just thinking, like okay, why they don't do it, or maybe they're already doing it, nobody knows about it, or like that they're just doing another recording just for themselves for analyzing actually.
yes, maybe because these confidential things are very difficult to get in terms of they keep it confidential for analysis part usually, because the firms that do analysis, they actually the data that they handle is very sensitive.
For sure. Like a
So
company
they
secret.
won't yes, yes, yes. And moreover, as I told in the presentation also, if there is if there is a team sport, the main focus of analysis becomes on the formations and like what a player should do when supposedly in football he does not have the ball. So right now what we are doing is actually calculating minor movements and very subtle things. Once we are done with the positioning in a team game, then we can come down to subtle things, that how should you receive a ball, what should be your shoulder positioning when you're actually receiving the ball. This is something that everyday coaching can do, but if you can see in a match what you have actually done in terms of mistakes, it can be rectified very easily. But for that, the whole team formation part should be very clear with everyone. Then we can move on to the second step of it.
Wow, this sounds so amazing. I can really imagine like a future like in 20-30 years where there are no coaches at all anymore, because you already have the computer who's telling you your position was 5% not accurate, should have sent here, and the coach is just there for motivate them like mentally, but like when it comes to the practical game, it sounds
yes,
like
actually, yeah. The Another problem that is very easily seen everywhere is not everybody has the same like uh, the same tactics. So everybody will have a different style of play. So coach A might prefer a more aggressive style, coach B might have a more balanced style. So that becomes subjective after a point of time, and you cannot argue that one style is better than the other. So like,
well, but you probably
it
can
is
also
very,
program your algorithm to say, I want to have a conservative style or more aggressive style, and then he
exactly.
will say this way, you need to do it this way. But then you just say, I want this selection of style, and or
Yes,
you can
actually, AI
customize
has
it a little
developed
bit.
so high. Like the recent success in AI has been so massive that a model can be trained only for you as a coach, and it can actually predict what you will do as a coach. So there will be a model for every coach. So Mark will have a different model, Arya will have a different model, and the model will predict whatever we are. The generic thinking style of the model will be similar. So a very classic style is uh, like mm, there was a painting which was uh, I don't know the artist's name, but Mona Lisa. What would happen if Picasso drew Mona Lisa? So this is style transfer. So what they did is, like, using Picasso's paintings, they actually that AI actually tried to visualize using Picasso's style, how would he draw Mona Lisa? And then he drew Mona Lisa, which was slightly different, which was according to the style of Picasso. Similarly, the generic style of Mark would be actually useful for that AI to develop what kind of sport style you like, and it will give you suggestions in that sense.
And then you can
That is
also,
massive progress.
and then you can also see, okay, what was the prediction, how was it really, and then make it fine tune the in some
Yes,
ways
yes, yes.
also.
That is
So
exactly what AI does at this neural transfer level. This is like, but it is a very big and cumbersome process to do that. I am not that qualified right now to actually speak about it, because that is like masters in science or masters like a doctor science model training. I am not that qualified right now to speak anything about it really.
you were a little bit cut off. Maybe you can repeat the last one.
Yeah, I said that like it needs a master's or a doctorate degree to actually understand what kind of training happens. I am not that qualified right now to actually understand any of it. Whatever I've done is like bachelor's level, what a bachelor might do who understands the sport very well.
Yeah, but at the end, the numbers don't lie, so you can always like use them,
Yes, yes.
and also like for this one example you mentioned before, like it's not only to analyze your own game, but more important to actually analyze the opponent game. You know, like before
Yes, sure,
for a
sure.
match, like in where should I play the ball, like, or how do I which or what style of play would I um like to play today against this open
Exactly,
opponent. Yeah.
exactly. Yes, so like we have those FIFA cards of players. So like if you have a defense of 59 and opponent has an attack of 40, you can actually play defensive and still win. So
Mm.
eventually what we can do is, for every player we can actually have these kind of statistics also. Out of 100, what is the level of defense, what is the level of attack, what is the level of stamina, we can actually get these things. And using only this to actually know that what kind of game you have to play against a specific person, if you just know their generic details based on the algorithm that we have used to get those values out of 100.
Well, and
For
the next step is
simplicity.
actually maybe to even use this data for betting. I mean, like at the end,
Yes,
like
it
you
can.
can.
It can be. Yes, yes, yes. Eventually, once the models are so good that they predict it with around 95, 97% accuracy, then you can actually start trusting them a lot more. And
For
then
sure, yeah.
the simulation becomes a real thing. Like you can actually imagine that a simulation would actually mean a very close result of what a real match would have would give, or something like that.
Yeah, for sure. They become just more and more accurate over time with more data,
Yes,
with
yes.
more fine tuning. Yeah, crazy. I love your project. What should I say? It's really cool. I think you have a great future in front of you.
Thank you very much.
For sure. Yeah, are there any questions from the audience here?
Yes.
I haven't seen some so far. Otherwise, if you want, you can also like join the Telegram group, where we
Yes, I'll join it, definitely.
for sure, also for the next conference maybe. And great. Look, our next speaker getting prepared here. So if there
Yeah.
if there are no
Thank
more
you very much.
questions.
It was an honor coming here. This is my first time actually giving some kind of talk.
One last question to you. How should I pronounce your surname?
It's BHIVPATHAKI. You can actually divide it in BHIVPATHAKI. Yeah, you can divide it into two. That might be easier.
Okay. Okay, all right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
ARYA. Perfect. And have a great day. Stay safe.